Gentleman yields back. Now recognize the gentleman from Wisconsin, the Cheese King of Congress, Mr. Van Orden.
That is correct. Write that down, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for coming. It's been a very long day. And so what I'd like to do is I'm a freshman, so, I'm at the tail end of everything. So I just solicited a bunch of my constituents. So these questions are coming directly from my constituents. The first one's going to come from Organic Valley, which is headquartered in Lafarge, Wisconsin. It is not some left coast thing. That is from the middle of my district. It's awesome. And here's what they want to ask you. Secretary Vilsack, dairy is an economic engine for the upper Midwest and provides bountiful nutrition for millions of Americans. We're very glad that the House has passed the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act, which is awesome. We need more milk options for schools and making sure that they can have whole milk if they choose to. I'm really interested in solving the problems and leveraging private industry to make investments in dairy. One of the efforts USDA offers is the Dairy Business Innovation Initiative, and these initiatives convene farmers, industrial partners, academia to tackle production, processing, marketing, the marketing needs of the dairy industry specific to each initiative's coverage area. Focused on enhancing the capacity and vitality of the dairy industry, the programs offer grants to industry participants. We'd like to know how strong is the demand for the DBIs, and can you tell us how many projects are funded? That's the first part. How many applications are received? The second part. How much funding is requested by companies and farmers applying, and how we are measuring the effectiveness of each DBI.
I think I understand the question.
Yep.
And if I don't, and I don't answer it, we'll be glad to get the answer.
Very well.
I believe there are 4 of these in the country.
Yep.
We allocated $20 million to each of the 4.
Yep.
And they make decisions based on where those resources need to be allocated.
Okay.
So that they would have the information in terms of the number of grants and specific investments. So
okay.
we don't control, once we give the resources to the Innovation Center, it's the Innovation Center that makes the determination.
So if we could get that information from these guys later, or if you could help us do that, I'd appreciate it greatly. Here's the next one. We've heard from our organic dairy farmers and organic milk buyers that the federal milk marketing orders offer no benefit or value for organic milk and have no bearing on day-to-day organic milk prices. The most recent FMMO hearings that concluded this past month did not review a proposal to exempt organic milk from pooling obligations, leaving hundreds of organic farmers frustrated and disappointed. Is the USDA willing to hear a proposal and establish a hearing on the role of organic milk in the federal milk marketing orders?
I mean, the challenge is that is the underpinning of a milk marketing order is participation by dairy producers. And I think it's a complicated question they're asking that would require us to kind of think about ways in which it wouldn't necessarily compromise or jeopardize the traditional dairy producer if we were to set up a separate program. We'll see what happens with the federal milk marketing order hearing that just concluded.
Yep.
Over 12,000 pages of transcript now being reviewed.
And sir, I've got a couple more for the guys. So this is from our hog producers. They are losing an average of $30 per head due to high input costs. What can the USDA do to support our hog producers to ensure that they can pass on these operations to the next generation?
We continue to purchase pork through our surplus programs. We continue to promote pork exports. I mean, that's 2 ways of providing assistance and help.
Okay. And then where do you stand on Prop 12 in California?
Where do I stand on it?
What are your thoughts? I know it went to the Supreme Court and said Congress should act. I agree with the Supreme Court. We should be acting.
The problem is that essentially every state can do this, and I think it's chaotic. It's going to be chaotic.
Okay. And then the Wisconsin Farm Bureau would like us to highlight the change in dairy pricing formula has negatively affected dairy farmers across the country, and Wisconsin is losing about 1 dairy farm a day. Many of my constituents are asking the USDA to use their emergency powers to change the dairy pricing formula from the average of to the higher of. No one's testified in opposition to changing this formula. The USDA is considering making the change through the FMMO hearing process that just concluded. We talked about that. Unfortunately, they're on step 5 of 12 in the process. Dairy farmers can't wait till 2025. Do you support accelerating this process?
You know, I'm not prepared to answer that question because I need to have a better understanding of exactly what you're asking.
Okay.
What I would do is give you this, which will provide you some information on how we're helping the dairy industry.
Okay.
The pretty significant amount of help that we are.
Well, thank you, sir. And, Mr. Chairman, I have several more questions I'd like to enter for the record. They're coming from our corn growers.
Without objection.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, and I yield back. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.